Hi everyone, welcome to Speech 155, Interpersonal Communication. My name is Kristen Ruppert-Leach and I will be your instructor for the course. This video is an overview orientation of the class, hopefully with the purpose, and hopefully it'll achieve the purpose, of giving you some direction, letting you know how the course is set up, as well as what you might need to prepare for and be ready for the course. So this front page here is your home page when you access the course. Your announcements section is directly tied to your student email. So I would highly recommend, if you've not done so already, that you get access to your student email, not only for this course, but for all of your other courses. If ever a class is canceled or there's any additional announcements, it'll not only go on Blackboard, but in many cases it'll go straight to your email, your student email. So get that set up as soon as possible if you've not done so already. This tab here, the Start Here tab, is where you've obviously already accessed because you're watching this online orientation. This link gets you to the Introductions and Questions discussion forum. What that does, is give you a chance to introduce yourself to us, tell us a little about why you're taking the course and what path you would like to take for your career, as well as other interesting bits of information about you. In addition to that, you can also ask questions in this section that would apply to a number of folks, as opposed to just an individual question that you might email me about. If you feel this question would apply to other folks in the class, then you can ask that question there, and then hopefully those folks can take a look at it and see if it benefits them as well. So that's what this page has. We'll go to our syllabus and schedule. The syllabus for the course is laid out here in a PDF. There's a couple of things to take a look at for that. One of which is my contact information that is here, as well as in the professor details. So I'll show you that here in a second. Essentially, this is a course that covers communication between you and another person. That could be a coworker, a friend, a family member, a loved one, a child, so on. All of those relationships apply. And we look at topics like perception and conflict and listening and all of those aspects. It's a very life purposeful course. A couple of things to take a look at. One, I'm going to scroll down here because you can read through all this on your own, is the book. I do not require a traditional textbook for this class. Instead, I ask that you purchase, and it's a real cheap, simple book that you can get in the bookstore or Amazon or wherever you want, usually somewhere around $10, $12 for the book. It is written by author and professor Dr. Carol Dweck, who is a psychologist at Stanford University. And she wrote this book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. And we will apply that pretty early on, so I would recommend getting that book right away if possible. You can do either a hard copy or you can get the audio book. Either way, I'm a big fan of both, so I have read this and listened to it, and both are very wonderful. So use whichever you're comfortable with. In addition, you will have a series of films to get a hold of. Now, you do not have to purchase those films, although many of them are available in the bookstore, and you can use your financial aid in that situation. Others you can borrow from the library or you can get online and such, but you just need to have access to, most likely need to have access to at least 2 of these films for a few weeks at a time, not just a Redbox rental. I would recommend you either do the library or you purchase it, one or the other. So these are the films you get to choose from. You'll notice they're not old random films. They're very popular films or very current films, and each has their own unique application to the various topics that we're discussing. Now, you may end up not using a film. It depends on some of your choices. So you could kind of hold off on this for a while if you wish. Many of you will use the film, some of you won't, but it's up to you, and I'll explain that here more in depth in a second. For the assignments, there are 2 units in the course, and each unit is identical in its base nature. So for each unit, you will have a series of notes that you will need to take, and they will need to follow a specific structure that I will provide to you in the unit folder. That is going to be worth 20 points. There are 2 groups of playlists or 2 groups of videos that you're going to watch and take notes for, all of which I have narrated for you. So it's all me talking to you, giving you the details for what you're going to need for that particular topic. So those are part of both units. Additionally, you'll participate in a discussion board for each unit, and that one will be kind of an overview discussion board. Then you will complete an exam for each unit. It's a combination of multiple choice, true, false, and the like, as well as a few, usually 1 to 2 essay questions. And then finally, you're going to have a unit application assessment. Now, this says each will be applied to a film, but we have made one additional change to give you the option of choosing to either apply concepts to one of those films that I mentioned earlier, or to apply the concepts to your own personal or professional experiences. Either one is completely acceptable. Some folks like to do it one way, some like to do it the other. So that's kind of where you'll end up not really knowing what you're going to do until you decide. And I'll show you a little bit about that in a second. There are other details here you might find of value. There are 460 points in the class. Attendance policy is essentially a withdrawal policy. So I ask that you participate, and if you do not submit at least 2 assignments in a row, you will be withdrawn from the class in the first half of the course. After that, you'll need to request a withdrawal from me in order to be withdrawn, or do it yourself. Either way is fine. And then there's additional information here. Take a look at it at your leisure, whatever is beneficial to you. Let's go back and take a look at the schedule here. You can see on the schedule there's a list of dates and unit material, as well as what is due or what you should be focusing on for that week. So you can kind of see each one is sort of laid out that way. We'll take a look here at some professor details so you can know how to get a hold of me. So again, my name is Kristen Ruppert-Leach. You can call me Kristen. I do have a lot of students that call me Professor K or Dr. K, and either one is fine. Any of those is acceptable. The only one I don't prefer is for you to call me Dr. Ruppert-Leach or Professor Ruppert-Leach, just because it's a mouthful, and I don't even like saying it. So I'd prefer you use my first name or the abbreviation of my first name, Dr. K or Professor K. Either one's fine. I am the chair of Languages, Philosophy, and Communication Arts, and I'm housed at the Belleville campus. So if you need to see me face to face, you can always come and visit me during my office hours or make an appointment. And I am on the 2nd floor of the LA building, which is diagonal to Starbucks, which is also very detrimental to my pocketbook. So there is that. You can also give me a phone call if you need. If you are at home and an email isn't sufficient, then you can always give me a call. I may or may not be on campus at that time. I would recommend email. My email address is straightforward. I'm actually going to probably add it into here, but it's literally kristen.ruppert-leach@swick.edu. So it's just my name with a dot in the middle. And you can ask me questions pretty easily there, and I can typically answer them quickly because I have access to that email on my phone, like most people. A little bit of background. I have a bachelor's in mass communication, a master's in speech communication, and a doctorate in education that specifically focuses on student emotions like anxiety and online education and course design. I do have some puppies. I have Boston Terriers. These guys right here just had a litter of puppies this past summer. So these are the little babies that we raised, and they all went home to their new families, and I miss them already. So these are our little babies, and they are kind of the light of my experiences. It's kind of fun to see them grow. And my kids, who are my ultimate experience, really enjoy this process too. So I have 2 children, a daughter and a son, and I'm a big fan of animals. I do enjoy sci-fi and fantasy books and movies, audiobooks, that kind of thing. So that's a little bit about me as a whole. Their office hours will be listed on my page, very different each semester. So depending upon the semester you're in, you're going to want to be conscious of that. There's also a little blurb here about how to be successful in an online course if you've never done so before. I've been teaching online since 2006, and it has been something that I have grown and now have a doctorate that focuses on that particular area of education. So I would recommend you take a look at this if you are newer to online classes and familiarize yourself with some of the things that you want to keep in mind. There's also other material that may or may not be useful to you if you are so inclined to take a look. So let's take a look at the unit content and you'll be able to tell sort of where we're going with this. I have kind of discussed how to navigate a unit here, but each unit is its own folder with the dates laid out there. You will have a unit folder with all of the lectures and readings. So in this case, for Unit 1, you will need to watch these videos. If you click on it, you're going to see all the videos that are required for that set. There's also a playlist link. And also, you'll want to watch the mindset videos, which is listed here as well. So it's got a number of videos to watch. They usually don't surpass 12 minutes or so. Some are even shorter, 4 or 5 minutes. So it won't take too long. And then in this case, for Unit 1, you will also need to be reading the book Mindset. You are only required to read chapters 1 through 3, one of the middle chapters, and then also chapter 8. It's up to you. You could also read the whole book. I read the whole book a number of times, but I'm only requiring that you read one of these middle chapters. So that is completely your call. And that's it for the videos and the readings. Those will be part of your note-taking assignment and all the other material that's required. There is a little bit of a blurb about each of the films here, so if you are unaware of what these films are and what they're all about, you can watch the trailers for each one laid out here. So take your time and take a look at it and see if you have some interest in any one of these, if you choose to do the film at all, or films at all. And then you have your assignments for each unit in a folder. First assignment being on note-taking of all those videos, not the films, all the videos and the reading that I mentioned. So I give you what you need to do notes on, exactly how to do the notes. You have to follow a template. So lay them out in a very specific way, and then you submit those notes to me. You'll also have a unit discussion where you're going to answer a couple of questions. You'll do this for this unit as well as for Unit 2. Then you'll have an exam, which is, as I said earlier, it is mostly multiple choice and true-false, but it also has 1 to 2 essay questions. And then you have your application assessment. And that is where you get to choose between applying concepts that we've learned about so far to a film or to your personal or professional experiences. So you can choose either one. Whichever you choose, you open up the document and there are questions for you to answer in that document. This one, you can say, I don't really want to dig into my family life or my personal background, so I would prefer to go with a film application, and then you can watch The Pursuit of Happiness and answer the questions with that film in mind. If you are good with doing personal application and you don't really want to look at it from the outside, you want to look at it from the inside, then you would click on this document, open it up, and answer the questions based on your own experiences. And they are the same questions, they just are different approaches to those questions. So you choose either option 1 or option 2, not both. Okay? And that's the exact same way Unit 2 is. The only difference in Unit 2 is that if you choose a film in Unit 1 and a film in Unit 2, it needs to be 2 different films. That's the only difference out of this whole thing. So it's pretty interesting. Some of the stuff that you can kind of discover about yourself or about those around you is quite fascinating within this realm here. But take a look at the pages, kind of peruse, and then let me know if you have any questions, and we'll hopefully get started on the right foot. All right, guys, best of wishes for this next set of weeks together. And again, if there's questions or concerns, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks so much.